Have you ever wondered how people survive in the freezing cold with no electricity? What if I told you they use snow and ice to not just survive, but to thrive in the harshest conditions? Their survival skills are so clever, they'll leave you stunned. In this video, we're going to reveal 5 incredible secrets the Sami use to conquer winter's most brutal challenges. Get ready to discover how they turn snow and ice into their lifeline. Let's start with the first survival method the Sami use that's as brilliant as it is simple. It's not about heavy equipment or high-tech tools. It's all about how they use snow itself to create warmth and shelter. Sounds impossible, right? But the Sami have mastered the art of using snow to build structures that protect them from the cold. Now let's dive deeper into this surprising survival technique. In one of the harshest climates on Earth, the Sami use snow to create life-saving shelters. And no, we're not talking about building a simple snow fort for fun. This is serious survival. The Sami know exactly how to use snow to create natural shelters that provide protection from freezing temperatures and strong winds. They've turned snow into an essential tool for survival, allowing them to thrive where most people would freeze. You might be thinking, how on earth can snow keep anyone warm? Isn't it cold? But here's the trick. Snow is actually an incredible insulator. It might seem odd, but packed snow traps air inside, which helps to keep warmth from escaping. This is the same principle that keeps snow-covered mountains cool in the summer and freezes over lakes in the winter. It's nature's way of creating a barrier against the cold. The Sami use this knowledge to build structures called kotas, small dome-shaped huts made of snow and ice. When they build a kota, they first pack the snow in layers to create strong walls. The walls are thick and solid, keeping the inside warm even when the outside temperature plummets to freezing or lower. The dome shape is key because it helps to distribute the heat evenly inside and make sure the structure can withstand the weight of heavy snow. Here's where the real magic happens. The Sami don't just build these shelters for looks, they also use them to trap body heat. Inside the kota, the heat from the fire stays trapped under the snow and ice layers, warming up the entire space. This is an age-old technique used for centuries. The Sami can stay warm and cozy inside their snow shelters, even if the temperature outside drops to minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit or worse. This method is nothing short of genius, using the very thing that seems like the enemy, snow, to keep them safe and protected from one of the most dangerous forces on Earth, extreme cold. But here's what's truly mind-blowing. These snow shelters aren't just for emergency situations. The Sami use them as regular living spaces during winter, sometimes even using snow tunnels to connect several kotas together. They've mastered the art of building homes out of snow, turning a seemingly useless element into a lifeline in one of the coldest places on Earth. Let's move on to another incredible survival trick. Using ice to store food and keep it fresh during the freezing winter months. Sounds impossible, right? But the Sami have been doing this for generations, and it's a method that's as effective as it is simple. In the Sami's traditional way of life, food storage is crucial. They can't always go out hunting or gathering during the long, harsh winters, so they need to make sure they have enough food to get by. Ice is the secret. The Sami store their food in ice cellars. These are like underground storage rooms made of ice and snow. They dig out a hole in the ground, pack the walls with snow and ice, and create a cool space that helps keep food fresh, just like a modern fridge would. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The ice doesn't freeze the food solid. Instead, the cold temperature of the ice slows down the spoilage process, keeping meat, fish, and even dairy fresh for weeks. The ice cellars also act like a natural insulator, blocking out the wind and keeping the temperature steady, even when the outside temperature fluctuates. The Sami have used this method for centuries to store their food, even when the temperature outside is well below freezing. But what happens when you don't have electricity and your food starts to thaw out in the middle of a storm? The Sami know how to manage these risks by making sure the food is carefully packed and stored in places where it will stay safe and cool, no matter how cold the weather gets. The temperature control inside these ice cellars is so precise, it mimics the effect of a refrigerator in a way that's both simple and effective. It's amazing how the Sami use nature's resources, snow and ice, to make sure their food doesn't go bad during the long, dark months of winter. Instead of relying on high-tech gadgets, They've turned the cold into a lifeline, allowing them to live and thrive without modern conveniences. This simple but brilliant method keeps their food fresh, even when there's no power to be found. Now that we've seen how the Sami use ice to store food, let's talk about another amazing technique they use to survive the freezing winters, how they travel across the snowy landscape. Imagine living in a place where the snow never stops falling and the temperature never rises above freezing. How would you get around? The Sami figured it out centuries ago, and they didn't need modern tools or fancy equipment. They used snow to help them travel, using something as simple as skis. But these aren't just any skis. The Sami have been perfecting their skiing techniques for generations, and they've made skis that are perfectly designed for walking through deep snow. The skis are longer and wider than most of the skis you might see today. This helps them stay on top of the snow and move easily through soft, deep snow without getting stuck. It's all about making sure they don't sink into the snow with every step, and these skis do exactly that. Here's where it gets even more interesting. The Sami didn't just use skis for fun, they used them for survival. Whether they were hunting, gathering food, or just traveling to a new location, skis made it possible to move across huge snowy areas without exhausting themselves. And they didn't just use the skis for travel, they also used them to help them carry loads like food or tools across long distances. But what's really amazing is how the Sami adapted their skis for different environments. When they needed to travel through deep snow and forests, they used wide skis to help them glide easily. But when they needed to travel on hard-packed snow or icy surfaces, they used narrower skis that gave them more control. These skis aren't just tools, they are a lifeline. In a landscape where most people would be stuck in the snow, the Sami could move freely. They could hunt, gather, and survive even in some of the most extreme conditions. It's amazing how something as simple as wooden skis can allow them to travel across vast, snow-covered lands with ease. For the Sami, this clever use of snow was more than just a way to get around. It was a survival strategy that helped them live in one of the most challenging environments on Earth. Now let's explore another clever survival technique: how Sami people use snowdrifts to protect themselves from the harsh winter winds. The Sami know that wind can make the cold feel even worse. It can cut right through you no matter how many layers you're wearing. So, what do they do to block the cold wind and stay warm? They use snowdrifts, nature's very own wind barrier. A snowdrift is just a big pile of snow that forms when the wind blows it into a mound. The Sami use these drifts to build walls around their homes or living areas. These snow walls are perfect for stopping the wind because they're thick and packed tightly. They create a natural barrier that protects the Sami from the harsh, freezing winds that blow across the land. Imagine this. The wind is howling outside, and the temperature is dropping fast. But inside, thanks to the snowdrifts, the Sami are protected from the wind. The drifts act like a giant shield, trapping the cold air outside and keeping the warmth in. This helps the Sami stay comfortable inside their shelters, even during the worst winter storms. It's not just about building homes near the snowdrifts. The Sami strategically place their shelters where snowdrifts naturally form, using them to make windbreaks. By doing this, they can block the wind, keeping their living space warmer and more protected. It's simple but effective. It's like using the land itself to keep the Sami safe from the cold. The best part about using snowdrifts? It's completely natural. No fancy tools, no electricity, just using the environment around them to stay safe and warm. It's one of the simplest yet most effective ways the Sami have learned to adapt to their cold environment. By building their homes near these snowdrifts, the Sami have been able to survive and thrive in extreme conditions for centuries. It's a perfect example of how they've turned nature into a tool for survival, helping them stay warm and protected even when the weather's against them. Now let's explore another amazing survival hack: using snow as a source of water. In the harsh Arctic winter, fresh water can be hard to find, but the Sami have figured out a clever way to use snow for drinking and cooking. How do they turn snow into a life-sustaining resource? Think about it. When the temperature is below freezing, rivers and lakes are frozen solid, and there's no running water like we have in our homes. So how do you get clean water for drinking, cooking, and cleaning? The Sami have learned that snow is actually a great source of water. It's everywhere in their environment, and they've figured out how to use it without risking their health. Here's how it works. The Sami collect clean, fresh snow, and then they melt it to get water. But here's a key part of their survival secret. They know which snow is safe to use. They avoid snow that's been on the ground for a long time or snow that's dirty because it might have bacteria or other harmful substances. The Sami are careful to collect fresh snow, the kind that's just fallen, and they use special tools like pots or large containers to melt the snow over a fire. Once the snow is melted, the water can be used for drinking, cooking, and even washing. This method is simple, yet effective, especially when you're in the middle of nowhere and don't have access to the modern conveniences of water pipes and filtration systems. For the Sami, snow becomes their natural, reliable water source, even when everything around them is frozen solid. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. The Sami use snow for cooking too. After melting snow for drinking water, they can use the remaining water to cook meals, like hearty stews or soups, which are essential for keeping up their energy during the long, cold winters. It's amazing how the Sami have turned snow, something we often think of as just cold and wet, into one of their most important resources for survival. This simple method of using snow for water and cooking has allowed the Sami to thrive in one of the most challenging environments on Earth, where others might struggle to survive. By melting snow for water and using it in their cooking, the Sami have turned a seemingly useless element into a vital resource that's helped them live for centuries in some of the coldest, most remote places on Earth. That's it for today's video on how the Sami survived the harsh winter using nothing but snow, ice, and their ancient survival skills. From building shelters to using snow as a water source, these methods show just how resourceful and connected to nature the Sami truly are. If you found these survival techniques fascinating and want to learn more about how different cultures adapt to extreme conditions, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. I've got more incredible stories to share that will leave you amazed by the resilience of human ingenuity. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more. See you in the next video.